Alip Ba Ta just released his new song Reorient this week, and I think it's my favorite thing he's ever done. It's got such a cool composition to it, such a cool flow. His performance is absolutely breathtaking, and I want to kind of go through for the music nerds out there and talk about why this song is so unique to me. Learning the bass was pretty difficult because the chords change constantly throughout the progressions. The scale that it sits in is really interesting, and it's really similar scale to the original song that I just put out, Paola Prison, which I'll link in the card. I would really appreciate if you'd check it out and give me feedback on it. But anyway, it's this scale right here. I think that's the Byzantine scale, if I'm not mistaken, but there's some really similar stuff to that in this new Alip song. He goes to all three of those notes. It starts on this B, but then it goes to E as the root. And it's like, or at least that's what I played on the bass. So he goes from the E to the flat fifth of the E, which is really dissonant. If you play them together, you have that super dissonant sound, but that gives it that kind of weird, mysterious sound. But then the second time he goes, now that's the sharp six or the major six, which is another not as commonly used chord in a progression. So you got two really interesting things. Then it goes straight to the regular fifth, which is considered a perfect fifth, perfect harmony. And then it does the flat fifth again. So that's a really interesting progression. But then it goes into this, where it goes to the flat sixth, which is the other sixth from what it was using. So now we already know we're not in a regular septatonic scale with 7 notes. He's basically playing chromatically in this song, because in another part of the song he'll switch to kind of the basic Aeolian E minor scale, but then he'll keep going back to that interesting chromatic scale. So each section of the song seems to be in a different kind of approach of a scale. I actually mapped out the song here, which is, it's a little bright here. You can see it's very interesting progressions, lots of flats. Oops, I just turned on my red light. So after that part, then it lands on the flat fifth again, and it does it again. Then it does the major second, which is part of that regular Aeolian E minor scale, and goes to the regular fifth again. So it keeps going kind of in and out of dissonance. First doing that flat fifth, then it does the same thing, but then it does the major second and regular fifth. So very in harmony with that E. But then the third progression in that section does the flat second, which also comes into play a lot in that first progression that's in the intro. Really using a lot of that flat second, which would be in like the Phrygian mode. And, you know, it's kind of it's another dissonant note with the root note. So it's got that weird kind of flavor because it's just the note right next to it. There's really 3 sections that repeat, and then there's a bridge that's kind of like one of the sections but more drawn out. Anyway, the third section of the song goes to that basically E minor. So it starts out in the, which is the perfect fourth, or the major fourth. So it goes. Starting on the fourth, walks down the minor scale with the minor third, major second, root. But then it does a chromatic walk up from that major second, minor third, major third, and 4. So, which I thought was really interesting. It goes back to that, then repeats that. But then it does the flat fifth again, reintroducing that interesting flavor. So it sounds like it's an Aeolian, but because you'll have that regular 4 that's not in the Byzantine scale, but then he'll go to that flat 5th for the last progression. So basically, then the flat 5th. There's so many interesting little flavors he adds, and it's got to be so hard to compose this and then remember it. I mean, it took me probably 2 hours of playing this over and over to really figure out the structure. Mostly thanks to writing it all out like this is why I was able to finally get it, because I had that kind of cheat sheet and I worked it all out eventually, but it was difficult to remember all the different places it was going because it was different all the time. Depending where you are on the song, you'll have the root note, obviously. You'll have that flat second. You'll have the major second. You'll have the minor third, major third, 4, flat 5th, 5th, flat 6th, regular major 6th. Yeah, it's just really interesting that it's all chromatic. It's really different, experimental, interesting. And then, of course, Alip is just shredding over it the whole time. I'm going to put my individual bass track at the end of this so you can see what I'm talking about, because I'm basically playing what the rhythm guitar was playing that Alip recorded underneath his electric guitar. I did add a little bit of licks and connective tissue, but it's mostly just what he composed. you so much for watching. If you're interested, check out my new original song. Again, it's very experimental with the arrangement, like this Alip Ba Ta song. So you might enjoy it, and I'd really love to hear some feedback on it. So I'll link that at the end of the video and in the pinned comment below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to pound the like button, subscribe, do all that stuff. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.